We're going to attempt to do this little Cowboy on this 5x7. First thing I'm going to do is get a tone on my canvas. I'm going to tone this sucker. Decisions. I'm gonna do something a little different than I normally do. I'm gonna go with a grayish color. Alright, so what I'm doing is I'm getting some of that raw umber and white and some of this dirty mineral spirit. And I'm going to, you know what? Nah, let's just do the whole thing. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to rub it on here. Get it on. Should have a bigger brush. That would make it a little faster, a little easier. That's okay. Because I'm going to use my rag to spread all this out. In fact, I'm just going to do that now. Why waste time? Okay, so now I can take a clean rag if I want and kind of draw with it with my finger. So I want the face to be somewhere in this area right here. And so now I'm going to clean this up. Clean all that up. Okay, so decisions. I'm going to grab a little bit of the raw umber, and I got a pretty big brush here. This is called a number 3 angled brush. It is a natural hog hair, in case you care. And this is just, yeah, we'll do that. Okay. So, I'm going to try to quickly, this hat is going to end up running off. So I'm going to come down this way, across his face, and then back off that side, and then it's going to come back around that way, and kind of down in this way. Probably going to be pretty close to the top here. It's going to come in right by his ear, so maybe there. So ear, here. All this is dark shadow up here. Ear's going to be falling in that spot. So what I'm trying to do here is just kind of block things in, kind of where they're at. So try to anyway. So eyes sit pretty even with where the brim comes in. Pretty decent gap here. Got a big old bushy eyebrow, which is cool. Which is right about there. And then his nose. He's got a decent. Oh, there we go.
I think it's in that top shelf in the middle.
Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah.
I don't have any. All I have is the brown ones.
Oh, the brown ones?
Yeah, they're white on one side, brown on the other. But it's the shiny white. See ya. Alright, back at it. Alright, so normally there's like a shadow. Oh, what's going on? Nope. Okay. Enough interruptions. Back at it. So what I was saying, there's a shadow, so the light's kind of coming in back from behind him, which probably makes this not a great picture to paint. But I'm gonna try it anyway. We might could fake it, but and just use his features, and then we can light it ourselves. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to space a little bit this way. Okay, so there, he's got a big old bushy mustache, which is super cool. Alright, so level his nose stops there. One thing that I do consistently is put the nose too low. So that's one thing I always have to pay attention to, because I will make them a big old long nose. Alright. In the ear, sometimes I throw that either way too far or way too forward. It's I have a hard time getting that in the right spot. Alright, so there, he's here. Kind of wild and coming out the backside. He's got a come down and then come across here. And his very good mustache and wrinkles of all the fun kind to paint. And shoulder comes off that side, right underneath his chin. That's where this bandana comes out. Now there's a little bit of like his, I don't know, I don't think it's his hand, just looks like he's holding gloves or something. I'm gonna take him out because it's just kind of awkward looking. And coming off his ear that way, down this way. This we can kind of make up a little bit. It doesn't really matter so much. It's just a bandana. Some people may draw every little bit of it. I'm not worried about it. Okay. Now he is tilted, so his eyes should be a little more like this, which I did not do. This one should be a little lower. So we can fix that with another brush with just some, we're going to erase a little bit. Just like a pencil. All right. There should be catching there. I'll use this back to the other brush. I don't want to get caught details with a little brush. Don't want to do that yet. There, and then this eyebrow runs off the side of the face. So let's see. We got us a slant now. Nose is going to be middle of that eye there, in that area. Plant it back that way. But that's a highlight, not a shadow right there, which is kind of interesting. I've been coming off of a sore throat. Nose there, ear hole. Alright, so the mouth is kind of hidden because his mustache covers it. So we're just going to do a little dark area. Something like that. A little dark there. A little dark in there. Side of the nose. And you're like, what are you talking about? I can see it. Alright, so let me get a little bit more. I'm going to define this a little better. Nope, too high. I don't want that. I don't want that kind of hat. It's going to go down here. And then this. Make that come around. Like that. Something. I didn't switch brushes now. Alright. This is going. And this one is a rounded hat. Boom. Alright, that comes that way. And down. Okay, so that's pretty close to what we're working with here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. I think. We'll see. Whatever. Alright, so now you gotta make decisions. Got a black and white picture, so this is something different. Instead of matching the colors that are there, I'm going to do what I think should be there, which should work. Alright, so I think I'm actually going to use this number 2. It's still like I can't get in here and do some fine details, but I mean it's still, I don't know, that big. It's about, it's a number 2, whatever size that is. Number 2 filbert, hog hair. But I've noticed that between, like, I had one. Yeah, right here. They call that a number 2 filbert, hog hair, and they call that a number 6 filbert, synthetic. I don't know, can you see that? It's like the same dang size. So, riddle me that, Batman. Just don't get caught up on all that crap. They're just paintbrushes. Pick the one you want. So this is the one I want. Alright, so I want to come up with colors and values that I want to use. And a lot of people talk about the values, value is the key. It's very hard to see. So it makes painting hard, I think. But if your colors are in the right value, it doesn't matter what color you use as long as it is in the same family. So, what we're going to do, we're just going to pick things based on what we think. So I got some phthalo blue, which is very strong. Why did I grab so much? And I'm going to grab some of this Quinacridone magenta. We're going to make some purple. Okay, there's that. Now, what I'm going to do with this purple, I'm going to use it kind of in place of my dark values. So, our cowboy's going to have a little purple in his hat. I'm just going to go around, start to block in the shadow areas, the dark values, a little bit kind of there. He's got some dark up underneath here, and then his jacket has got a lot of dark values going on there. Now, Will I decide to change this dark value later? Maybe. I might cover it up. I don't know. Oh, we didn't add his other shoulder, but it's somewhere back in here. Right. Lots of dark under there. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and throw a little eyebrow. This eyebrow runs into the shadow of his hat. Take a little bit in there. I don't mess with the detail of his eyes yet. Underneath the nose. A little bit of his lip popping through. People texting me. All right. At the top of the eyebrow, there's some shadow in the hair there, up to the bottom of his ear, a little bit on his neck, something like that. Okay, now, and we'll clean that out a little bit. Orange and purple. They should cut to cancel each other out, and we should get a little kind of a yucky gray, dirty, dookie color. And I'm going to use that to kind of fill in next to these shadows. Grab a little bit more of the yellow ochre, kind of lighten that up just a little bit. Now, right now, I am kind of scrubbing it in. I just kind of want to get that paint jammed down into that canvas. Actually, this is a linen. This is a linen panel that I got. It's a little smoother than canvas. That's yellow ochre and that purple that I made. This is part of his jacket. Okay, I'm gonna grab a little white, mix in with this. Now I'll start to mix a little bit more of a natural flesh tone. Grab a little of this cat red, mix in with this weird gray that we just made. Get this funky pink. With my yellow ochre, should get this orangey color. Grab some more white. Mix in with that orangey color. There we go. Something a little more fleshy. Okay. Now, it doesn't have to be fleshy colors. You know, we could come in here and grab a little of this green. This crazy green. Green and red will make us a little desaturated olivey color. And I don't have very much of that, so let me make a little more. It's a little dark. I'm going to grab a little bit of that. Okay, so that gives us a kind of three values that are somewhat related. Okay. So the reason why I like to do the tone and scrub that stuff in is that a lot of my paintings, if you look at them, you can still see the surface, like so the canvas part of it or the wood or whatever I put it on. Which some may say, you know, it's not right, whatever. It's the way I do it. And I don't necessarily do things the correct way. I was never taught how to paint. I just started painting. So I will do things the wrong way. But I don't think there is a wrong way. As long as you get the result you like at the end, who cares? So, if Dr. Keller ever watches this, sorry, you never taught me anything. Speaking of Dr. Keller, one of the funniest things that she used to do, if she didn't like it, whatever you're working on or whatever, she would say, interesting. And if I ever heard interesting, that meant she did not like what we were doing. Alright, so let me look at my picture here, my reference. I'm going to grab a little bit of this blue over here. Now we got this kind of a weird blue-gray. And I'm going to start to use that. When you paint like I do, or like this, it's kind of fly by the seat of your pants. Sometimes I honestly don't know what I'm doing. I'm just doing. So it's really hard sometimes to explain why I just grabbed that blue and purple and started drawing or painting on his eye. I don't know. Just did it. Okay. I am going to grab a little of this dark green. I'm going to mix it with some of that raw umber just to get another cool shadow color. I want to come in here. Now, I'm not here I am covering up that purple I did. That purple kind of played a role of just placeholder, I think, for me. I may leave some of it some places. Excuse me. Alright, let me go to Gab. So, I heard a guy say one time before, it said that it was like, there ever be enough red in the ear. I'm like, yeah. If you look at them, they are typically, even mine, a little reddish in here. So I'm going to translate that as pink. So I've got this quinacridone magenta. Mix it in with that kind of fleshy orange color I just had. Obliterated that. And I'm going to throw a little there. shadow areas around here, underneath that nose. Socket a little bigger. I'm actually going to reach in and grab some of this black. Really oily right there, so I'm just going to use that. Kind of makes it a little gray. I just want to it's got a pretty deep eye socket. That looks kind of cool. That's what kind of gives him that weathered cowboy look. Yeah, kind of went a little too far on that. Let's do the eraser trick. Let's see. So I'm going to try to pick up some of that. Okay. So on this eye, quite a bit of reflection in that eye. And there's still some side of the face over here. I said I wasn't going to do details yet, and here I am. What I do. Alright. Alright, I'm going to switch over to this one. Grab some of this. Looks a little bit like drag queen right now, and that is not what I'm going for. Never will. Okay, so that looks like trash. Definitely going to have to take the blue out of there because it looks like eyeshadow, and that looks like hot garbage. I may have to blow away everything I just did. Although I do like the idea of having that shadow be a lot cooler. Then the sun hitting his face, causing it to be warmer. So that's kind of cool. We'll go with that. Let's see what that does. Cad yellow and that raw umber kind of makes a weird green color mixed with what the crap I had in my brush already. So we're gonna roll with that and see what happens. nose, and get a little warmth over here on the ear. Wow, that went really red. Just trying to neutralize that. Alright. Okay. Color down in there. He's got this weird shadow, and I guess that's from the... No, I'm just going to ignore it. No, I've gone silent. I'm trying to focus on what I'm doing. Hard to talk and paint at the same time. I think that's why you see people do voiceovers. They can then justify what the heck they're doing afterwards. Alright, so I've got the quote white of the eye too bright. There we go. And that one. They are not white. Let's see how far I'm going to get before the bell rings. Maybe if I just think about that, I'll hurry up. Fix this over here. It's kind of getting kind of wild and woolly and random. Yeah, that's gross. That comes from the corner of the eye up here. Here it comes across. Let me grab some white and mix it up in here. neck down here is in the shadow. So I'm going to grab like this. I'm going to try to make this look like a shadow. I don't know if I've done very well up here. Not so much.